Alright, so we're continuing back with with resetting the world countries. Yes, I was on a different one, but here we go. We're back in the same one about where we started, and if y'all haven't seen yet, I put in, y'all really can't see it because my channel, Hi, My Name is Mari, is getting deleted in 28 days now. I really don't know why it is, but if y'all haven't seen it yet, before my channel was getting deleted, it happened 2 days ago, and y'all haven't seen that post yet, but that little post was actually a little sneak peek for a video, and this was the video. So I maybe recap that sneak peek, but that is what is mainly going to happen in this video. So let's start by continuing this French war with them. The French starts pushing into more of England, and England starts to push out more into France. They push them back from their lands. It's French capital of Paris. It's about to get taken. They move up as the French starts to push more and captures the coast. Has a small coast right here. England's about to block. That's when, while England was busy, you had the Scottish coming out, helping out the French in this war with England, cause they had enough about England saying that it was getting too crazy. So they pushed in and captured Liverpool, and they captured Manchester. Yes, I remember British cities. They push in and get near London. They're getting near the spot of London. That's when the England starts to push out the troops. They called their puppet of Brittany into here, and they start to push into the Englanders and help out France too. So now they have a long coast right here. And as they start to push back here and here. So the Englanders also call someone in mind. And it's a fellow wrong ally. Well, it's basically the Northern Alliance of Ireland. And they make a landing up here in Scotland. They are a very big Scottish ally. But since the Scottish are at war with the Englanders, the Englanders called it "or they will die." Then the England starts to push up more into the Scottish captured area, and as they start to do that, they start to do it preparedly, and they cut off northern Scotland, start to push into northern Scotland. They take over the islands of Scotland. They take over the capital of Edinburgh. And Scotland was completely dissolved into the red. So now the Englanders made another landing up here. Starts to push in while cutting off Brittany from France again. They move up and capture all of the French coast up north. And they push into Naples. They captured Brest and the rest of the cities. And they cut off all the French coast over here on the Acheron's Sea. They captured Paris, and it was starting to get bad for the French. Then you had what we call the Kalmar Empire, or Kalmar Union. They joined in on the war on the French side to stop the Englanders from expanding. Because if they take over France, it can be a very bad scenario thing that happens. And they cannot let that happen because they don't have time for England being the worst possible side they ever been on before. Yes, they worked on a team before to win the country. Something like Ching Bang. So then they call more troops take over this part of England. The Englanders were kind of disappointed because they was a major ally. Then you had the French pushing back up and capturing a coast again, and they captured back their capital. See, the Englanders make a spearhead over here, and this was actually a pretty good spearhead. They took over the southern French coast. They took over all of the French coast. Now the French were starting to get hopeless. But as the Irish nations joined in up against England and stuff, you had almost the whole island declaring war on everybody else in the islands. They capture them over, they make a landing over here in Scotland, they take over Edinburgh, and they start a re-pushing of England. They take over the peninsula over here, and they start to push into England. They push back in over here and start to take over more of the Englanders. And as they cut through here, they push through. You had the two major states starting to push in back for the Englanders, but it didn't work as well because it was the whole island versus them. Then you had the rest of the Scottish taking back the rest of their islands, and you had the French start to push back on the Englanders and capture back Brittany. They took over the rest of England, and the war has been solved. So then you had the French taking over the England claim in France. Of course, England was definitely mad at this. And the French starting to get more of its land back, but Dublin was split up by the four nations that bordered Dublin. And these states were given an opportunity to unite into one, or do not be an ally of England's ever again. They decided to unite into one, calling themselves Northern Ireland. As y'all know today, it's a territory of the British. But then you had the unification of Britain and France. So now the French own the whole western part of them. Oh yeah, I forgot. Dang, I forgot about it. Dale John right here. We had a little piece right here. So then, now since we're not worried about that anymore, I wonder who missed the old Irani border? Who misses it? Well, we're gonna expect some more countries to arise. You had this new country here. It had a little enclave about the size of these two combined. You had an African Spanish nation. It moved into Spain and Africa. As you see, Andorra pops up into this new land, and they started off bigger than ever. They took over some of the French. They did take over some of the French. As they took over some of the French, Morocco, Monaco appeared over here. And they had a good part of Italy in them. Talk about these little empires that's popping up. Then you have the Caledonians popping up. You have the random Spanish nations. I wonder what they're called. Then you had Portugal popping up here. Had the Northern Spanish Republic of Spain of the Spanish. You had another Spanish one. Then you had the free land in the middle. So if you see, you had another nation right here. Then you had the Italian nations of the Popeye states. Popeye states, Naples, showed all the way down here. You had Sicily, that island in there. So this was the Vatican City. Then you had the other small Italian nations. I don't know how to make a border of Italy, so the borders really don't matter to me. Yeah, the small nation right here. I know the Monacos are kind of out of shape. Then you have the Italians pop up. Then you had like a new coastline nation and a nation near Greece. Had Crimea blocking Greece from anywhere else. And it has southern Russia. And this also cold country starts to move down into the Kulak Peninsula and some more of Norway. So there's a lot of changes in the world in part 2, which is this part of the series. So now I'm working on a new series. So this is going to be the new series. Then you have an Indian nation pop up over here. And now let's free all these borders, if y'all know what I mean. When you say free all the borders, that means unlock all the borders that that countries are getting for lands, is what that means. So every time I say that, that means I'm giving new countries lands. So we're gonna also do the expansion of the Kalmar Empire, where they start to connect up some of their enclaves and stuff. They connect up all of their Finlandish and so they connect up over here. Connect up right there. So they had this England one now, because it was theirs. And they pushed into more of Denmark. You see, they're starting to look like a new empire, actually. They made another colony in Greenland. Because they really don't have the effort to colonize in Greenland. Kalmar Union once grows again. If you think that's England's, it's actually not. I'm gonna just say this, it's the Kalmar Unions. For people who don't understand, because I didn't say the Kalmar Union gets the English claim in Sweden. Forgot to say that to you guys, but I'm sorry. And I also have... So the Kalmar Union is starting to become the biggest by the connection of these. And they're starting to look like the Kalmar Union for sure. So that'll be the end of this episode because I'm feeling like this is way too long. So I'll see you guys later in the third episode in a few days. Bye.